After more than 2 decades as an administrator, former Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya has called it quits and is venturing into politics. He follows the footsteps of well-known provincial administrators, the likes of the late Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji and Interior Minister John Mishuki, who successfully transitioned from government service into politics. He spoke to NTV's Bridget Sngana on his journey and meteoric rise in this administration and his dreams for Trans-Nzoia County.
Thank you for speaking with NTV. Now, the name George Natembeya might be very common in the public light, but who is George Natembeya and what is his academic qualification?
George Natembeya was born in Trans-Nzoia in 1971 to parents who were basically squatters at that time. But immediately we moved to Bungoma, where my grandfather had land. And therefore we settled there, lived there, and I schooled, primary school entirely. I was there, and then in 1986 I went to Form 1 in Eldoret, Mother of Apostle Seminary, up to 1989 when I did my KCSE. I was admitted at the University of Nairobi, main campus, where I did a Bachelor of Anthropology. For 4 years. It took a bit of time there because that time was when the clamor for multipartyism was just starting, and students were really involved in this thing. So all the time we were being, chased home. You go there, you stay a whole year. So we spent a bit of time at home and then completed in 1995, December. So I went back to the university. I did my master's degree. Again in record time, but that time the master's degree was taking long. But I was lucky, I had a very good supervisor, hands-on. So I completed in 1998, but graduated in 1999.
How did you get into public administration?
In March of 1996, I was employed as a DO and posted to Transmara as a DO headquarter. Basically a DO at the District Commissioner's office. My actual field work as an administrator, where I was handling my own division, began in 1998 when I was posted here in Nakuru. And I've worked subsequently in many other areas as a DO. I've worked in Gishu, that Band Forest area. I've worked in Narok, the place called Mulot. I've worked in Nandi Hills. I've worked in Trans-Nzoia, a place called Kaplamai. That's where I ended my work as a DO.
Tell us how you came to meet the late Minister for Interior and Provincial Administration, then John Mishuki, and how your meeting with him shaped your career.
We had a very, very good chemistry. I was surprised. I used to do all his speeches. Of course, when you're going like for a pass-out parade at Giganjo, the police will do the first draft of the speech. Then it will come to me. Then I'll do now the speech. Because now the highlights are there. Then I do it in a manner that he wants it done. Because Michiko is very particular. Even where a comma is placed, a semicolon or a hyphen, it was that particular. And the turn of phrase, the kind of language he wanted, a directive here, a warning there, some diplomacy here. That's how we wanted his speeches to be done. And I actually reached a point where I was the only person in that office, that Harambe house, who could do a letter, a memo, a speech, and the Michuki would sign, without even reading it. Yeah. So in terms of government work, Michuki has been my true north. My point of reference. The way he handled public issues, he would not entertain Michezo na kazi. He was very, very particular. He always had the targets and ensured that they are met. So you just don't go to the office to muddle through. Like you go to the office and you don't know what you're going to do there. You're just basically sitting there waiting for work to come to you. No. That one for me, it doesn't apply for me. It never applied to him. You go there, create work. Because there's always work. The fact we were so close next time that when he passed on, actually some of his children called me kuniambia pole. And that time I was a DC in Kagame. It hit me so much. Actually they realized that this guy hata amegongea kuliko hao wenyewe because we were so close.
Of all your assignments as a public administrator, the Mau evictions of 2018 must have been the most heated and most politicized courses of action for you. Tell us how you navigated dealing with the political pressure of this assignment and also executing an executive order.
When I was a DO in Mulot, that was a time when they had allocated, when that scramble for that land was happening. I was a very young DO. And there were very senior people in government who will even send you to go and check on what's happening in their land. And you'll go there and you see people felling indigenous trees. It really hurt me. But the helplessness, you're just a small guy. Now, when I came back to Narok as a county commissioner, one of the visible things we'll do every day was the number of donkeys that were carrying charcoal from the forest, carrying thousands of bags of charcoal. Then number two, there were a lot of cedar poles. So many of them, cedar is an endangered species actually protected. And there were a lot of poles. Those poles are being taken to Nairobi in pro boxes. It was a chaotic place. And then when you look at the importance of that water tower, not just to Kenya, but even to neighboring Tanzania in terms of the Serengeti and so forth, it's very, very critical. And one misconception that people have had is that we were targeting one community. The scramble for the Maasai Mau forests was from all communities. People are coming from everywhere. In fact, there was a place called Nyamirandogo. Nyamirandogo, it was actually, there were many people from the Kiss community who were there. All communities were there. Some were just doing timber, others were doing farming, others were building. It was a very serious scramble. And then we said we were going to lose this thing because the Maasai Mara was getting endangered because there was no water. The animals were dying because they couldn't have water just to drink. Water to River Mara was drying up. Politicians really focused on me, and they were attacking me. They personalized it. But the same resolve that I've been taught by Michuki is what I applied. There.
2 years as the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner, and one of the challenges you faced was curbing the banditry in the northern part of the Rift Valley. You have been on record saying that politicians are behind the problem in this region. Do you still hold this view?
I do, because this is the only place where something can happen and you beg political leaders even to join you. They're reluctant to come because they're part of the problem. And even when they come, you'll do a meeting, you finish a baraza, and when you leave, somebody gives a young man 300,000 shillings at Nyachayeno. That man is going to buy firearms and to go to buy ammunition. You may not have the evidence, but that's what the money is meant for. The problem of the Kerio Valley, we believe, is political, because from 2017, the place has been very quiet. Until last year, the eve of the elections, the election year, then now we start having some of these issues, because they see the ubabe wa kisiasa, and now the voter is right. So when they say bring us guns, everybody wants to get a political seat. They're scrambling to provide firearms, they're providing ammunition, they're providing food, and so forth. And even I've told my colleague, and I spoke with Waziri before I left, that Waziri, we must carry out disarmament. Whatever it takes, we must do that. If we don't do that, we're going to have trouble in the future. Because communities are arming themselves, and they you can carry a firearm in the open. They are now even confronting police officers. We have lost a lot of police officers. Not by accident. Kitambo, a policeman will be killed by a stray bullet from a bandit. But now it's a deliberate maneuver. You'll go into an ambush, they lay an ambush, the police will find themselves in that ambush, and they'll be shot, and they'll be killed, and their clothes will be removed, they'll even carry away those fire.
There is a perception that you are a state-sponsored project for the Trans Nzoia governor's seat. Is this true? And what is your agenda or manifesto, for that matter, for the people of Trans Nzoia?
In all honesty, which political party in this country has not sent emissaries to me to run on that ticket? All of them. All of them. Talk of Kanu, talk of UDA, talk of... In fact, the only party that has not approached me, they wanted to convince me because they were telling me the position I have is very good, because they already have a candidate. It's for the Kenya, ANC, all of those, all those political parties, they want me to run on that ticket. So I'm not sponsored by everybody. I've left a very good job. I've got a very, very good job, a job that some people would kill for, but I'm walking away because it's no longer about me. It's about the people of Transoya. So I may be a project, but a project of the people of Transoya. Of course, the president supports this move. He really supports it. He didn't have any serious objection when he understood why I'm doing this. He also knows that our people need leadership, which obviously has been lacking. Because look at the 9 years of devolution, we are doing badly. Look at the snow water. Look at our health sector is in shambles. Look at the roads infrastructure. There is nothing. Look at even our people in Transoya don't even have title deeds. Transoya got the place, the headquarters for squatters.
What happens if you don't win at the general election?
I want to make my people comfortable also. So I'm going there to offer myself to work for them. If they refuse, yeah, and I don't say the reason why they should refuse, but if they refuse, life must go on. Because even you, Bridget, you're not a governor, are you? You are not. Life must go on. I've defined my limitations, and I know I can still survive without this. I'll not struggle. I'll not struggle, but I'll keep myself productively engaged, serving Kenyans in other capacities, which are always there.
Now you have a very, very stern public persona. When people see or hear about Natembeya, they know it's directives upon directives. What don't people know about you, and what are your hobbies and likes?
I do a bit of exercise. I listen to music, to all the rumba. That's what I listen to. I watch football, local football. I watch the Premier League. I support Arsenal. That has been very disappointing. That's what I do. I'm not serious throughout. I've got this. The people have got this perception of me because of the kind of assignment that the government has been giving me. So all the time when you are on TV or in media, you are addressing a very grave issue. You cannot be smiling and bodies are lying there, or people are throwing Michelle all over the place. So that persona is what the people have in their mind. But I'm generally a good guy. I laugh a lot. Actually, one of my biggest weaknesses is laughing. I laugh a lot.
I love cracking jokes.
A lot, yeah. And that's why for me, you'll never see any tribal sentiment in me. Even all these people you see me with, my security people, the entire team, you'll hardly get anybody from my community. And I don't really care. Even at my office, and I go there and say, works here, works there, from which community, nonsense. I don't even do that because of my training. Anthropology is about appreciating other people's cultures and judging them from their own perspective. Don't bring your own standards and say they're supposed to be doing this and that and that.
Thank you so much for speaking with NTV, Mr. George Natembeya, and we truly wish you well in your next life. That has been the former regional commissioner here in the Rift Valley, George Natembeya, and he says he is the epitome or true depiction of the Kenyan dream, that you can come from nothing and be something. His vision is serving the people of Kenya, not just here, but also in Transoya.